There's quite an echo.
Recording in progress.
All right. I think I'm gonna have to like write down the steps to make sure the microphone works or something. Okay. Today on the online world.
Oh, it's a terrible echo.
It's echoing.
Yeah, just no idea how to do that.
You guys hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, but there's an echo on our end. I don't know if it's something about connection.
Okay. I'm gonna mute you and give me a thumbs up or down if I'm still echoing, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Is it still echoing on your end? It's all good? All right. Cool. All right. Get everybody checked in. You guys can start to get into your comfortable seated positions. You guys. Okay. So, Joe, I'm going to have you position your mat more lengthwise.
I just can't sit on the carpet or like the way I sit.
Oh, no worries.
Do you want another mat?
Yeah, I
underneath.
I can do one.
I got you. Want the thick one on or the black one?
Use that one that you've got your hand on there, yeah. Go ahead and put that underneath your mat, and that'll add a little bit of cushion. And then a blanket may also help for you to sit on that.
How I sit, I don't sit in this. This stuff,
Hey, you're not gonna offend me. I totally understand where you're coming from. I grew up with that too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can use that as a little bolster underneath.
All right. We've got we'll begin by finding a comfortable seated position and closing the eyes and reaching the top of the head up towards the ceiling as we sit tall. Start to take some deep breaths in and out, allowing the breaths to elongate. Bringing a count to each inhale and exhale of maybe 4 or 5 so that you can start to even the breath. Leaving behind any of the outside world that may have tried to follow you in. Bringing our senses inward as we focus on the breath. We listen to the sound it makes. We notice the temperature as the air comes in through the nose, brushing past our nostril hairs and warming as it comes into our lungs. Feeling the exhales brush past our upper lip. Noticing where our bodies are touching the mat. And perhaps where our hands or arms are resting on the leg. And think of an intention that you'd like to set for this class. Your intention can be simply to stay present and focused during this hour. Or you may wish to focus energy or healing thoughts towards a part of your body or mind. Or you may want to dedicate the practice to someone else, sending positive energy outward. On your next exhale, lower the chin down to the chest. Inhale as you start creating circles with the head, slowly rolling past one shoulder and back, and then rolling past the other shoulder and forward. Using your breath with this movement, you will exhale as you roll forward, and inhale as you roll back. Taking time in spots that are a little tight. And switch directions. Noticing if the same spots are tight as you go in the opposite direction. Or if you're finding some different little catches. Next time the chin comes down to the chest, stay there. Interlace the hands and place the hands on the back of the head. Allow the arms to grow heavy. As you still sit tall, you'll feel a stretch through the back of the neck, allowing it to travel into the mid-back, maybe even feeling it into your shoulders or your lower back. Without taking your hands away from each other, you're going to bring them down so that the pinkies are right at the hairline. And inhale as you look up to the ceiling, reaching your elbows high, feeling a slight stretch on the front of the armpit area. And release down. Let your hands come back to your legs. Inhale as you look over the left shoulder. Exhale as you look over the right. Inhale back to the left. And exhale to the right. Come back to center. And bring the hands up into cactus arms, like so. And if you're having any shoulder issues today, you can let the elbows come a little bit down, but otherwise you're aiming for the elbows to be directly out from the shoulders. As we inhale, we're going to twist to the left, and exhale to twist to the right. Using forceful exhales as you push the air out of your belly and chest. starting somewhat slow as we're moving through the muscles in the back. And as you start to build up some warmth, you can also start to build up some speed. Feeling the stretch go all the way up the spine. We'll do this for a few more rounds. And come back to center and relax the arms down. Bring the left hand behind you on the mat. Right hand comes to the left knee. Inhale to sit tall, and then exhale to twist. Release the twist as you inhale. So you'll notice, Jill, that I don't mirror my students. So if you get confused at all I care about is that you do the same thing on both sides.
Okay.
Next, take your right hand behind you. Left hand comes to the right knee. You're going to inhale to lift up tall, and then exhale as we pull the belly in and twist. And return back to center. All right. So may I ask, is it uncomfortable for you to sit this way?
I've never been able to sit that way my entire life.
Is it in the hips?
They just don't go down. Yeah.
Okay. May I ask you to try something?
Sure.
Because we work on that. A lot of my students here can't sit like that. So I'd like to try a little something because I want to try to work on a certain hip exercise.
When I was a little girl.
Yeah, we can try that. You know how to sit them up on the blanket.
Do you want me to point the camera so they can see the?
All right. And it might not be fully comfortable, but we're going to work on it.
Oh, this is much better than just sitting on the ground.
Yeah. I oftentimes also recommend maybe sitting on a block. So it's kind of personal preference.
Okay.
Some people find that the angular sides of the block aren't that comfortable. That's why I brought the blanket over.
Okay.
So you can kind of play with that a little bit.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do here is bring the hands right in front of the legs. If this is a good stretch for your hips, go ahead and stay here. If you want to increase the stretch, you're going to just walk the fingers out until you find that stretch. We'll stay centered for one more deep breath. And then walk the fingers over towards one side. Think about the stretch going from your hand all the way through the shoulder and over to the hip on the opposite side. And then walk your hands over to the other side. And return back to center. Walk the fingers back in. Now we're going to switch sides, so we're going to bring the opposite foot in the front. And we are definitely creatures of habit, so I always like to mix it up on you guys. I'm trying to break some of my side habits as well. The same thing here, you're gonna bring the fingers right in front. And if you have a dominant side, you might find that this second side is a little bit tighter, so you may not be able to come forward as much. The same thing, you're gonna come forward until you feel a nice stretch there. One more deep breath here at center. Walk the fingers over to one side now. And back to the other side. Return to center and walk the fingers back up. And we're going to transition into tabletop. So you can do this by rolling over the ankles or swinging the legs out to the side. And then you can go ahead and remove any sitting props that you have. Now for tabletop, you're going to find the wrists directly below the shoulders. Knees are directly below the hips. So Josh, you can bring your knees a little closer together. There you go. Inhale to look up with the belly dip down for cow pose. And then exhale as you tuck the chin and tailbone in, pulling the shoulder blades apart to round the back for cat pose. Inhale back to cow. And exhale to cat. Continue moving between these two poses on your own breath. As we move through these poses, we're working on the flexion and extension of our spine. We're stretching our front of our body as well. And come back to neutral. Reach the right arm up to the ceiling. Make 2 large circles with the right arm. And then reach up. Exhale as we thread the right arm underneath the left, coming down to our right shoulder and the right side of our head. And press into the ground with the left hand. Bringing a twist into the middle of our back. Giving our shoulder a little stretch here. Press firmly through the left hand as we lift back up, reaching the right arm to the ceiling again, and make 2 large circles in one direction, and then 2 in the opposite direction. And then we can release that right hand back down. Lift the left arm up now. Make 2 big circles with the left arm. And then we're going to inhale to reach it up to the ceiling. Exhale to thread the left arm under, coming down to the left shoulder and the left side of the head. Pressing into the ground with the right hand. Feeling the twist now on the opposite side. Press down through the right palm as you lift back up. Reach the left arm back to the ceiling. And Make 2 large circles in one direction, followed by the other. And release the left hand back down. Curl the toes under and press the hips up and back into downward dog. Now walk your dog by bending one knee deeply and then the other. We're stretching the calves, waking up the hamstrings a little bit here, and bringing movement into our ankles and our knees. Come to a still spot in your down dog. And on your next inhale, look between the hands and walk the feet up to the top of the mat. Leave the knees slightly bent and allow the body to hang over the legs. Release any tension in the head or neck by gently swaying the head side to side for a yes or no, and then let it rest. Take hold of opposite elbows and gently sway the body from side to side in ragdoll. Release the arms and inhale as we stand tall into upward facing hands pose. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, swan dive down to standing forward fold. In standing forward fold, you can either let the knees be bent slightly and let the hands rest on the ground, or you can keep the legs straight and let the body hang. Either one is going to work you more towards your goal of your standing forward fold. On your next inhale, halfway lift so that the back is flat like a table. Exhale to plant the hands down and step back with both feet. Coming all the way down to your mat, knees, thighs, and chest resting down. Press the tops of the feet down into the mat to engage the legs. And firmly press through the palms to lift up into cobra pose, bring the head and chest up, and pulling the body weight forward as if you're trying to drag yourself forward on your mat. Exhale as we move through tabletop to downward facing dog. Now I'm going to try something a little different with you guys today. You're going to take a deep inhale and then exhale, bring the knees down so they're hovering just above the mat. And then inhale, lift back up. Exhale to bring the knees down almost to the mat. And inhale back up. We'll do that 2 more times, linking that with your own breath. Holding in downward dog. And on your next inhale, lift the right leg up. And exhale, bring the right foot to the top of the mat in between the hands. You can take as many steps as you need to get that foot up there. We're preparing for warrior 1. You're going to ground the left heel and inhale to come up. And also going to ditch a layer here. Wardrobe change. All right. So for warrior 1, we want the right knee to be right over the ankle. And then we want our back leg to, it's not going to be too far back, but it is going to be enough that you're feeling a nice stretch here in the front of the left thigh, or the left hip flexor rather. And we want our hips to be square. So what I mean when I say square hips, you guys online have been with me long enough to know. That means that we're facing both hips directly forward. If you come into warrior one at any time and you're more like this, it usually means that you have to either shorten your stance or step your left foot out to the side as if you're on skis. All right, now that we've got our hips aligned here, we're going to lift our arms up for warrior one. Working on our strength and our balance. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to come into a twist. I'm going to show you the full pose first so that you can try it, and then I'm going to give you a modification if that doesn't work for you. So the left elbow goes to the outside of the right knee, and then we press our hands closer to heart center. If that's not going to happen, all you need to do is take both hands on the right thigh and twist the body to look over your right shoulder. Pulling the belly in as we twist, helping to increase our digestion, improve our circulatory system, help our bodies to detox anything that we have inside us. And then inhale back to warrior one. Exhale, we'll bring the hands down to frame the front foot and step back into plank, releasing all the way down to the mat. Inhale into cobra pose, keeping the elbows close in, shoulders down away from the ears. Pelvis is down on the ground for cobra. The pelvis.
Okay.
And then exhale as we go through tabletop to downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here. If you need to take a break, you can always take a quick child's pose. We're going to hold for about 5 breaths here. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up. And exhale, bring the left foot through to the top of the mat. You can take several steps up, or you can always use your hands to guide you. And yeah, socks are often very slippery for me. We're going to ground our right heel and inhale into warrior one. You can leave the hands down at heart center or on the hips as we prepare our hips in line. All right, Jill, bring your back foot out that way just slightly. There you go. Can you lengthen your stance at all? And angle this foot a little bit more. Good. How does that feel?
Good.
All right. And how about you? Does it feel good?
Yes.
Looks good. All right. Now that we've got our hips where they're supposed to be, we're going to lift the arms back up into warrior one. Taking a few breaths here to really work on our strength and our balance in this pose. Now we're going to come into our twist. So if you want to bring the elbow on the outside, we're going to bring the hands to heart center. Right elbow goes on the outside of the left knee. Otherwise, you're just going to bring both hands to that left leg and twist over to the left shoulder.
Something scary to look at on the floor.
Yeah.
Looking at myself in the mirror was not helping.
Yeah. When you see wobbles in the mirror, it's easy to wobble. One more deep breath here. And then slowly lift back up into warrior one. Take a deep inhale and reach. And then exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. And take a big step forward to meet both feet in the front. Exhaling into standing forward fold. Inhale to sweep the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to come into chair pose. So inhale and lower the hips. If you haven't guessed my theme for today, it's twisting. So we're going to bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Press the hands closer to the center of your body. Return to center. Inhale, stand tall, reaching high. Exhale, hands to heart center. And inhale back into chair. Bring the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. And then press the hands closer to heart center as you pull the belly in. Your gaze can be down at the floor for balance, over to the wall in front of you, or up to the ceiling. Yogi's choice. Inhale as we stand all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to work on our balance now. For anyone that wants a little bit of stability, you can move over to the wall at home or over to the bar here in class. We're going to start with a more challenging one, and then we're going to do a simple one. So we're going to do eagle pose to start. So what we're going to do is, you can either hold on to something. If you're not holding on to something, you can have the hands at heart center or on the hips, wherever they're comfortable for you. So we're going to start by grounding the left foot. So lift the left toes up, spread them apart, and then relax them down. Now we're going to bend both knees, coming down into a little baby squat here. Right leg is going to cross over. Now if you're just starting on your balance, you can kickstand the toes on the other side of your leg. If you are going to challenge yourself a little bit, you can flex the foot on the outside of the calf. Eventually you may be able to wind the leg all the way around. So whatever level you think you can be at for about 30 seconds, go ahead and try that. If you're not holding on to anything for stability, you can add eagle arms by bringing the arms out and then wrapping the right arm under left. You can bring the backs of the hands together. You can wind them all the way around, or you can just hold the shoulders. If you have eagle arms, try to align the elbows to the height of the shoulders. That'll get you the most benefit of the stretch here. We've got about 10 more seconds. And release. Bring the hands out to the sides, pressing through the palms. And release. I was trying to think of a good metaphor to use in class this morning when I was doing this. And I always think of I don't know if it was ever in an actual movie, but I always think James Bond trying to stop walls from closing in on me or something. I don't know if he ever did that, but it seems like something James Bond would do. All right, now we're going to move on to the other side. So you can begin with hands at heart center if you'd like, if you're not holding on to something. Lift the right toes up now. Spread the toes apart and relax them back down. This is going to give you as big of a balance base as possible. Bend both legs slightly, and then bring the left leg, around over top. And again, you can kickstand the toes. You can flex the foot on the outside of the calf. Eventually, you may be able to wind the foot around the back of the calf. To add the arms, you're going to reach the arms out. Left arm comes underneath this time. Again, you can wind them. You can hold the backs of the arms together, or you can hold the shoulders. An eagle pose here is really good for kind of squeezing everything together. Then when you release, it's kind of a nice flush out of everything that you were squeezing. 10 more seconds. Release the legs, reach the arms out, do your James Bond push, and relax. All right, that was the challenging one. Now we're going to do the easy one. Working on half leg balance. So bring the hands to heart center, or you can practice holding on to something. I want you to do this as much as you can for balance. So even if it's a second hold at a time, and then working your way up, see if you can do 5 seconds at a time. We're going to start by balancing on the left foot and lifting the right in front of us. So again, you can kind of tiptoe, see if you can do a second here and a second there. You can flex the foot right above the ground, or you can lift it as if you're resting on a chair in front of you. Focus on a spot in front of you on the ground, and that may help, as well as keeping the core tight. You're almost done. And relax down. Go ahead and give your standing leg a roll out, shaking out. All right, so now we're going to ground through our right foot. Bring the left foot up in front of us. Again, you can tiptoe, you can flex the foot right above the ground, or you can come all the way up. Finding a spot in front of you on the ground to look at, to focus on. We call that your drishti point. Halfway there. And release. Let's give our ankles and our feet some love here. So both feet are on the ground. See if you can lift your big toes up and then relax them down. See if you can lift your little toes and relax down. Big toes and down. Little toes and down. We'll do one more of each. So lift your big toes and relax them down. And lift your little toes and relax them down. I realize I'm moving my hands like trying to get my feet to do the thing. All right, now we are going to lift your right foot and give 5 rolls in one direction and then 5 in the other way. And then relax down. Other side, 5 rolls in one direction and 5 in the other. And release. All right, we're going to come down onto our mat. ahead and make sure that you've got a block handy. And we're going to start by placing the block in between our legs. If you have any knee issues, try to guide it more towards your thigh. But if you've got healthy knees, I don't see a problem with squeezing in between your knees there. We're going to scoot forward a little bit as we prepare to lay down, just to keep our heads off the floor. And then using your core or using your hands to guide you, we're going to slowly bring the back down to the mat. Once the head makes contact with the mat, allow the palms to face down on the mat beside you and bring the feet a little closer into the body. Press through the heels and inhale as you lift the hips up, squeezing the block and squeezing the glutes underneath you. And then release the hips back down to the mat. Now inhale to lift again. Holding for a couple breaths here. And release down. And then inhale to lift one more time for a little bit of a longer hold. Really squeezing the glutes underneath you. And then release down. Now this next bridge pose, I'm going to give you an option. If you want a little bit of a break, you can do the modified version by lifting the hips up and placing the block underneath your low back. If you'd like a challenge, you're going to do this without the block, lifting the hips up. Now, regardless of which option you chose, you have one more option to pick from. You can stay where you're at, or you can bring the right knee into the chest and press the foot up to the ceiling. And release down with that leg. If you chose that one leg option, we're going to bring the other side in and press the left foot up. And release down. We're going to stay stable here for just another breath. If you took the block modified version, go ahead and remove the block now, and everyone can release the hips back down to the mat. Bring the knees in towards the armpits for happy baby pose. We're going to hold on to the outsides of the lower leg, the ankles, or the feet. As you draw the knees in towards the armpits, eventually you'll be able to have your ankles and feet directly above your knees. Gently sway from rock from side to side, massaging your lower back on the mat. Bring the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. And then release both feet back down to the mat. Cross the right knee over the left knee. And we're going to do some eagle pose crunches, which I'm sure you guys are all very excited about. We're going to bring the arms into our eagle arms before we start doing the work. So again, if you can either wrap the right arm underneath the left and wind them together, or you can just hold on to opposite shoulders. Whatever your option is, whatever makes you feel comfortable tonight. On your next inhale, lift the left foot off the mat, lift the head and shoulders off the mat. Now take another deep inhale and reach the arms and legs away from each other. And exhale, bring the elbows and knees towards each other. Inhale apart. Exhale together. And you're going to do 4 more on your own count. After your 4th one, you can release back down. Bring both soles of your feet to the mat. Release the arms. Relax the head and shoulders. Maybe take the knees swaying side to side to release some of the pressure from the low back. And we're going to come back to center. And we are going to do the other side. So left knee crosses over right. Left arm wraps underneath. Inhale to lift the right foot off the mat and lift your head and shoulders up. And then take another deep, big inhale and reach the arms and legs away from each other. And then exhale, elbows and knees together. Inhale apart. Exhale together. And 4 more on your own. Relax all the way down and let the soles of your feet rest. Rest your head and shoulders. Take a few breaths. Gently bring your knees into your chest. And you can either rock yourself up to seated or roll to your side and press up. We're going to bring the soles of your feet together, and they're going to be a little ways out from the body. So you can measure this by straightening your arms and letting the fingertips come to the heels. And then what you're going to do is bring your right hand to the left ankle. Now, if your shoulders are good, you're going to reach the left arm up. If your shoulders are bothering you today, you can bring the hand to the hip and just open the shoulder up. What you're going to do now is bring the right elbow, drawing it closer to the ground. And hold for about 1 or 2 more deep breaths. You should feel a stretch here in the back side of your left low back. And come back up. How was that one for you guys? That's not one that I typically teach. So if I'm wondering if my cueing is good. How did that feel for you?
It felt good. I really do the other side.
Yeah, good. Left hand comes to the right ankle. Again, you can reach the right arm up or allow it to be on your hip. And then you're going to draw your left elbow down towards the ground. And release there. Bring the right leg straight out in front of you. Left leg crosses over. Bring the left hand behind you on the mat. Fingertips pointing behind you. Now inhale your right arm up. And exhale to bring the elbow or the hand on the outside of the left leg. You're going to inhale to sit tall. And then exhale to twist, to look over your left shoulder for half Lord of the Fishes pose. Feel free to close the eyes here. Start to bring the focus back inward. And the next inhale, release the twist. Uncross the leg. We're going to switch sides. Bringing the left leg straight. Right foot comes in, and we're going to cross it over. Bring the right hand behind you on the mat. Inhale the left arm up. And then exhale to hook the elbow or hand on the outside of the leg. We're going to use our next inhale to sit as tall as you can. And then exhale to twist, looking behind you. Inhale to release the twist. Let both legs come straight out. And if you've got tight hamstrings, go ahead and grab your strap. You're going to wrap the strap around the bottom of your feet. I wasn't sure who was coming today, so I didn't bring one in for myself. But you've got the idea. Yeah? Huh? Yeah. I'm good, as long as you guys know what you're doing. So if you've got the strap, you're just going to hold on to that. If you have the flexibility to reach your feet without rounding the back, you're going to do so. We're going to inhale as you sit tall, lengthening the spine as much as possible. Now exhale as you start to round the back, coming forward, pressing the backs of your knees down towards the ground. Keeping the feet flexed and active. Start to slow the breath as we fold in on ourselves, coming into the end of our class. If you had set an intention for today's class, you can come back to that. Otherwise, bring your attention to your breath as it slowly comes in and out. And slowly come back up out of the stretch. You can release the strap off to the side. And we're going to prepare to lay down. We're going to do a couple more poses before we do our final resting pose, but if you want to layer back up, now's a good chance to do so. It's funny, that one took me a while to learn how to cue for that, because I would get everybody down into their relaxed resting pose, and then everyone would come out of it to put their sweaters back on or put their socks back on, or it's like, oh, I should have them do that before they lay down. All right. So as we prepare to lay down, you're going to scoot forward again to save ourselves from putting our heads on the floor. And you can use your hands to guide you, or you can use your core strength. We're going to slowly lower the back down. Once our head makes contact with the mat, reach the arms out into a T and bring the knees into the chest. Let the knees fall to the left side for your supine twist. You can keep your gaze neutral at the ceiling or bring your head to gaze over to your right hand. Our aim is to relax our legs as much as possible. So if you need to anchor your legs down, you can use your left hand on top of the thigh. Or if you want a deeper twist, you can hook the top knee around the bottom knee, winding your legs together. Slowly come back to center. Give your knees a little squeeze into the chest. And then release the arms back out into your T before resting your knees over to the right side now. Again, you can choose to anchor your leg by placing your hand on top of your left thigh. Or you can wind the legs together, bringing your top knee around the bottom knee. And your gaze can be either up or over to the left. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Give them one more squeeze into the chest before relaxing them down. And allow your legs to come down. If you're feeling any low back pain, you can keep the knees slightly bent. Otherwise, you're going to let them come straight down, allowing them to roll open naturally. Resting the arms a little bit away from the body with the palms facing up. This helps us to flatten our shoulder blades underneath us. Take a deep breath in to gather up any remaining stresses or tensions within the body or mind, and exhale them out away from you. As you let go of these things, let yourself feel lighter. With eyes closed, feel a softness in your brow as you release the muscles in your face. Let that softness come down into your jaw as you unclench the teeth, letting the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Let the shoulders and arms rest comfortably. Let the hips and the legs feel rested and weightless. Lastly, feel a warm, glowing light coming from the center of your heart. That light is full of love, compassion, and patience. And allow the light to spread into every cell of your being before spilling out through your toes and fingertips and reaching everyone that you care about. Coming around to do a slight shoulder press to help you feel grounded. If you'd rather not have that done today, place the hand on your belly. Otherwise, allow yourself to be completely free for the next few moments. Slowly start to move your fingers and toes as you bring your awareness back into your body. And then reach the arms up overhead to give yourself a long stretch from fingertips to toes. And then gently bring your knees into your chest, hugging them in and rolling to your side to rest for a few moments in your fetal position. Using this time to appreciate all of your efforts and accomplishments today. And then slowly press up from the side into a seated position. Inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale to give yourself a hug. Thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. The light in me honors and respects the light in me. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very good.